Brain injury is often misunderstood. It's not always something that you can see. It happens when the brain is disrupted by trauma, illness, or lack of oxygen, affecting the way a person thinks, moves, feels, and experiences the world. For many survivors, everyday tasks that once felt effortless can become complex and exhausting. Memory, speech, balance, emotions, and personality can all be affected. Recovery is really simple or linear, and every brain injury is different. Brain injury doesn't just change a moment in someone's life, it can reshape the path of their entire future, requiring patience, support, and understanding from those around them. All right, so my name is Cindy, and I'm a speech therapist by profession. And from when I finished studying, I was working in neurology and working in a neuro rehabilitation center specifically. And working there, gradually you realize that even for people that make use of private healthcare, initially after a brain injury happens, there's a lot of support. Brain injury for many is a lifelong, it's something that affects their future going forward. And unfortunately, gradually, as time moves on, the support becomes less and less. And at the end, it's the survivor and their core family that have to deal with the reality of brain injury on their own and very often isolated. So Brain Life really was born from that realization that support is needed in the long term. When people, especially when people return home and when families start to pick up the pieces of their life, that is where support is needed. And unfortunately in South Africa, there is very little long-term support available for people with acquired brain injuries. So at Brain Life, our focus, as I said, is on the long-term support of people with brain injury. That includes a number of different programs. So the first is a continuous group rehabilitation program. So people can participate, people come to us for the whole day and they participate in a number of different therapies. This includes physical therapy, cognitive therapy, music therapy, arts and crafts. And the idea is that the person is busy, active the whole day. So for a survivor that has communication difficulties, they are challenged to communicate throughout the day. Brain Life really provides an opportunity for people to establish a new social network. Honestly, you don't understand what a brain injury is and the impact on a survivor and a family's life until it happens to you or someone that you love. And this really is a family where people meet and share stories and that really is where the magic lies.
Okay, my name is Constance and I work here at Brain Life. I started working here at Brain Life since 2018, but back in 2018 I was not a full permanent employee. So, and then I think in 2021 that's when I started being a full-time, and my role here is assisting where possible. I assist with the admin, I assist with cleaning, I assist also with the members. We normally have like 2 groups, Monday and Wednesday. So whenever we have like school holidays, it's always sad for them knowing that they won't be there for the whole week. So I think being here for them, it's always something that they look forward for, doing their physios, doing their arts and crafts, and within those sessions, each of them, I think there is a session that they prefer to participate on, and I think that way it's more like enjoying themselves on different sessions.
So trying to describe what a brain injury is almost an impossible task. The best I can do is to say that as a human, every thought that you have, every sense that you experience, every emotion, every movement your body makes, everything happens in your brain. We know a lot about the brain, but there's so much more that we don't know. It's incredibly complicated. Brain injuries are like fingerprints. There is literally not one that is the same, just because of the complexity of the brain, the fact that we're all wired similarly but quite differently. So brain injuries are difficult to understand because they don't look the same. For one person, it can lead to a lot of physical fallout, but less fallout with their cognition or their memory. For other people, cognition could be intact, but language, they lose the ability to process language. So even though they are able to think in the same way, they're not able to communicate that, and they're not able to understand language. So I think that is what makes brain injuries difficult to understand, is that it's not uniform. And I think that's where a place like this is crucially important, because we are able to connect families. And I've really seen myself what a huge difference it makes when the only people that really get this are survivors and families that are going through this.
My name is Michelle Fourie. I'm married to Jackie. I met Jackie when we were 8 years old. So we've been together for a whole lifetime. We were married when we were 26 years old, and we have 2 sons. 15 years ago, he was in a motor vehicle accident, and he and his 2 sisters and his brother were on their way to their uncle's funeral in Durban, and they collided with a cow.
On the highway just past Heidelberg, there were cattle on the highway, on the N3 to Durban. Well, I was told that I missed the first one or second one, but I hit the second or third one I hit. And the cow, it was a cow that came across the bonnet of the car, which wasn't my car, it was my sister's car, or my sister's husband's car, that I was in an accident with. So I landed up with a cow on my lap.
His 2 sisters and his brother was with him in the car, but nothing happened to them. He sustained brain injuries during this accident, and he was airlifted to a nearby hospital, and he was in a coma for 6 weeks. So that was basically the accident. And then we were called after the accident happened, and we didn't know what to expect. So he was in ICU. They said he had sustained head injuries, and so you don't actually know what that means. Is he going to be in hospital for a few weeks, and then when can you return to work? And no information is actually given to you by the medical staff around what to expect, how severe the injuries are, and so on. The first response is this immense panic and going into survival mode immediately. But when we arrived at the hospital, there was another shock that came upon us, and that was that there was a problem with the medical aid. And then that survival mode goes into another kind of emotion that you have to now look for financial support. It changed our lives in all respects. He was our breadwinner. So immediately you are now in another situation that you have to take care of your immediate my sons. It was a process of acceptance what happened to Jackie. Jackie would often say to me, how long have I been broken? And now I'm at a stage where I can say to him, rather ask me, how long have you been whole?
This can happen to anybody at any time. An accident can happen to any one of us at any given time. We really love when people visit us, whether it's companies or schools. We've got a school coming next week. It's really, really important for us to create a space where the public can engage with people with brain injury. There are a huge number of NGOs in South Africa, and I think anybody that runs an NGO will tell you that the biggest challenge for an NGO is finances. Without finances, you're not able to, especially if you have a continuous program. This runs every week, every 5 days a week that this runs, and it's really hard to keep things like that going when you are not sure where the next month is going to come from. So I think financial constraints are quite a huge one, and connected with that I think is resources. An NGO, and specifically ourselves, we are really getting the most out of every resource. If people are brave enough to face, if survivors are brave enough to climb this mountain of brain injury every day, then we can be brave enough to figure out plans. There are quite a few ways that people can help. One of the ways is to come and volunteer. Sometimes you come for a day, and some people potentially have the possibility to volunteer on a weekly basis. But we love having people because we are able to educate people, but also it gives us extra hands. The second one I think is to donate any used home items to our shop. The shop is really doing well, and it's really giving people that have to make do on a very small income the opportunity to grow that income. So we pick up around Pretoria. Any donations of secondhand goods would help us a lot. And then lastly, we've got a program where we, as I said, funding is really hard, and especially corporate funding has become more and more difficult. There's a huge number of NGOs that all, I don't want to say compete, but we're all dependent on the same funding, and that funding is also becoming less. So we've got a program where individual people can opt to help us with 100 Rand a month, and honestly many times over these 14 years that has been the funding that's kept us afloat. So that is also something that people can get involved in. Working with brain injury survivors and their families, I've learned that life is short. You are never sure, you can never be sure what's on your path. Your path can change very quickly. I've also learned that people are much more resilient than survivors and family members have shown me really what resilience is and how important kindness and compassion is. People in the group inspire one another, which I always find very beautiful in a way that other people can't.
I think my patience grew more. I've been always someone who works with people, but I think working here at Brain Life specifically, seeing these people like being independent, because you never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But seeing some of them like using one hand, and I'm grateful with what I have now while I look at them.
Okay, fine. So she had a heart attack and she did not get medical attention immediate at the hospital, so she ended up having a brain injury. That's what happened. So since I started working with her in 2023 up to now, I think I've seen an improvement. Like she could not talk properly, it was difficult to hear what she had to say, but now we can hear each other, we can understand each other. I mean, she has improved so much. The experiences we have had at Brain Life, it has helped her to be more calm, to be more patient, and to gain confidence, to be able to talk to people. And yeah, she actually remembers people's names, which is different from the beginning. Yeah. Now we can stay for the whole session from 9 to 3:30. In the beginning, would only stay for like 2 sessions and would be going.
I am a car accident survivor and I am positive.
I'm awesome, I'm kind, I'm passionate.
I'm very positive that I will get back to my normality, although it will take time.
Oh. What happened?